Okay, let's talk about cancer prevention in this stage of life and what you can do to empower yourself, whether you've had cancer or whether you're trying to prevent it. Both of these things apply. Just for awareness, the top four cancers in women in this age range is number one, the most common is breast cancer. The second most common is lung cancer. Third most common is colorectal cancer, and the fourth most common is uterine cancer. So those are cases of cancer. That's not the how common it is to die of those things, but those are how common they are in terms of diagnoses. So the great news is that all of these cancers, we have a lot of clear evidence about how to prevent these cancers, and if you've had them, how to improve outcomes if you've already had these cancers. So the top lifestyle tips for cancer prevention. Number one, don't smoke. Probably not a shock. Smoking causes 20% of all cancers, 30% of all cancer deaths. The top cause of cancer deaths is actually lung cancer, and not all lung cancers are related to smoking. However, don't smoke, number one. Number two is weight management. And this can be, I know, a very sensitive subject, particularly when we're struggling with weight gain and we never have before, or certainly not to this degree, or all the things that we used to do don't seem to be working around our weight. I know this can be difficult. But coming to a healthy body composition, focusing on that, is really key, because obesity, or being in the obese range, is thought to drive 8% of cancers and contribute to at least 13 cancers. And much of that has to do with what kind of fat. So if we are having a lot of visceral fat, that inflammatory fat, which is around the waist circumference. So see back to the previous information about how to shift and improve body composition, reduce visceral fat, and improve muscle and insulin sensitivity. So go back to those videos again to find power wherever you are, not criticism. I know this can be challenging, but whatever we can do to help manage that is really important in terms of cancer prevention. Avoiding alcohol, we've talked about in terms of brain health, but certainly alcohol unfortunately causes about 6% of cancers and 4% of cancer deaths. We know that any amount of alcohol increases the risk of breast cancer. So finding alternatives to release your stress with mocktails, we have recipes for you, and finding how you can connect rather than disconnect would be great. There's so many more options now than there ever have been. The next is physical activity. So moving, even wherever you are, moving more than that is beneficial for reducing the risk of cancer. So that's such a big deal. It also helps with many other things, sleeping and so on. And sleeping, of course, is a major player in cultivating, improving your sleep can help reduce your risk of cancer. Healthy diet, we have given you a lot of resources on healthy nutrition, and we certainly know that as we increase fiber, as we support the microbiome, that fiber diversity, fermented foods, those major players, and making sure you have the nutrients you need, as well as shifting away from those things that drive inflammation. Processed foods, ultra processed foods, things like candies, cookies, crackers, chips, a lot of ingredients that we don't understand, sodas. Those ultra processed foods, we know that significantly increase our risk of cancer. And so if we can start replacing those with whole fiber-rich foods, we know that processed meats, for example, lunch meats with nitrates, etc., and red meats are both linked to higher risk of cancers. So if we can shift away from those choices towards more whole food, fiber-rich, diverse choices, that lays a better foundation for your immune system to reduce inflammation and to help regulate your immune system to be better able to fight and reduce your risk of cancer. And of course, if applicable, most of us are beyond this stage, but breastfeeding, encourage breastfeeding, and those women that might be in the position to breastfeed, that can reduce your risk as well. So I hope that gives you good information just as to where to start. Start where you are. Don't get overwhelmed. It's baby steps. Every master started with one step at a time.